Hey, this game is incredible. Since it came out in early access, I've done nothing but play it whenever I came back from work. And today I'm gonna show you how to break it, sometimes literally. Before we talk damage, we need to talk about utility. First thing you want is double-edged sword perk. This is your main source of money, and since it's percentage based, one stack is enough as it scales with you. As greed perks are quite rare, early on you might want to pick up money shot and or paycheck. Paycheck is incredibly useful first loop, as one stack of it pays for 1 or 2 items in first biome shops every stage. After that, to break the game faster, you'll need chance for more chests on flawless completion and or chance for extra chests. If you get both on ×2 stages, you'll have a chance to get 4 chests for flawless completion. Speaking of chance, one of the most important perks you'll need is green dice. It does literally everything. More crits, more damage from crits, more damaging perk activations, more likely to get chests, more chance for enemies to drop health with scavenge. It's pretty much Clover from Risk of Rain 2, but even stronger with stacks. It also works incredibly well with another perk that will facilitate your infinite damage, faulty chests. At some point, with enough stacks of green dice and faulty chests, you'll be able to grab every item every chest poos out. And finally, with more rewards perk, let's quickly mention speed and healing. With speed, you pretty much just need more dashes, as you'll be able to spam spacebar and air strafe at ludicrous speeds. You can also take Speed Demon, but it's not essential. Healing is a bit interesting as it gets less and less useful the longer you go on. In the early stages, the best one in my opinion is Grim Reaper. I would also get healing on island completion if you're struggling, and more max health on completion is also pretty good. Scavenger works great with green dice as mentioned previously. You might be saying, you're getting the same fuck. You're getting so many perks with pretty much the same effects. Wouldn't it be better to replace some of those perks with damaging perks? To which I say, not talking class, questions will be answered shortly.
Fucking delicious.
Where was I? Right, let's round the utility up with a pair of these. Get plates at the start of each island and get 74 more plates? That can't be right. Plates get way more useful the longer you go on. If you don't have ridiculous amounts of money, don't even spend it on plates during the first loop and invest in mods or health. However, from the second loop onwards, pretty much every attack will send you to 1 HP unless you have Dumbo amounts of health. But is there spaces in between? That's right, each hit cannot damage you for more than one of these, meaning you have at the very least 8 hits until you go down. 8 and not 7, because there's one shot protection that sends you to 1 HP instead of killing you outright, even if the attack deals billions of damage. Chance to negate the damage is also very good, I forgot to measure that. Speaking of billions, let's talk about the fun stuff, damage. Yay! It took 2 minutes 55 seconds. But we got to the point. Woo! We need more damage, more crit chance, more crit damage, crits do triple damage, more shots fired, more shots fired, more fire rate and damage, pretty much every element from shots, maybe scars, more damage to enemies affected with set elements, broken watch, shot... Wait, how did that get in there? Shots hit spawn more shots, more damage from each blade, penetration, but all of that is not the important part. Well, it is pretty important, but... Moving on, remember all those perks we got for money and healing and stuff? That's where we'll break it. Introducing Collector. If I understand this perk correctly, and game pop-up when you pick up a perk seems to suggest I do, each level for each perk gives you a percentage increase to damage. Not every perk slot, but its level. So in this instance that will be... I think it's safe to say it's plus dozens of 1000% damage. I feel like the soundtrack should change when you pick this thing up, you know, from the upbeat, happy fun to... Yeah, the game starts to lag at some point, but that's to be expected. I mean, look at it. It's no longer a minigun, it's a flamethrower. A couple more good pickups. More damage for each 1k crystals. This one's pretty nuts with the greed perk we talked about at the start. When the amount of crystals overflows though, it sets back to 0, but hey, you'll get that back up in a second, don't worry about that. Every third island levels up your mods. Very powerful, literally gives you hundreds of damage percent with enough stacks of both it and Collector. Not to mention it can level up Collector itself, which theoretically gives you thousands more retroactively. All of this gets so ridiculous that beyond the slowdown the game refuses to properly show the damage numbers. What is that? Is that a minus billion? Am I healing these bastards? Finally, for this particular build, I would suggest avoiding explosives. They just bounce your enemies around, making them harder to hit and are nowhere near the amount of damage your shots do. A bit of advice for early game. Stuff like shoot bombs and waves with your shots is okay at first, but falls off very quickly as you start looping, because no matter how many levels you stack, those can't keep up with hundreds of thousands and millions you'll get for your normal shots, so pick them up early and drop them as soon as you feel your damage train starts rolling. I finished on island 240 as the run was getting quite long, but with this setup you can pretty much go on forever unless enemy HP or your damage bugs out somehow. I don't know. This is what my last boss fight looked like. Yeah, that's pretty strong if I say so myself. Some closing thoughts and suggestions. Obvious bugs are obvious. I'd love to see more stats during gameplay. You know, you open your inventory and at the bottom right it tells you your total damage, speed, crit chance, crit multiplier, amount of dashes, recon and spread percentage, etc. With the green dice it's kind of hard to tell what the chance for an effect to occur actually is. For example, when you hover over a mod with the chance to do something, there could be a plus number or total chance in parentheses next to the original number. I don't know if this is intentional, but when you have a bunch more dashes and you spam them, at some point your crab will do just one more dash after each jump. It's like there's an individual cooldown on each dash charge, or just a point where the game tells you to stop jumping around like you're a kid splashing in a puddle and the game's your parent. Stop it! Stop it! Get out of there! With enough extra rewards, mods can leave the map, go through the map, go into each other if another chest was open nearby, making it much harder to take the one you actually want. Upon rereading the script and playing the game a bit more, I feel like a lot of things I said are kind of obvious. To get a lot more damage, you need to pick up a lot more damage. Yeah, thanks. That's why I came up with a bunch more ideas for videos, like which mods would work well with individual weapons, or which mods would have great scaling for loops, and which are good for just getting the W on Island 30. We'll see how this video performs and whether you guys would like to see those to determine if it's worth to make them. If you somehow watched this video without playing the game, I got this to tell you. If every meme blossomed into such greatness, we literally would be living in an utopia right now. This game is so beautiful, it's so fun, it's already packed with content and it already had a patch with pretty major improvements and changes within 5 days from release. And I can't wait to see what's in store for it. Thank you for watching and good luck. Also, OST, please, thank you.